dude she hooked up with wanted to use a condom and she got the ick. It's the most skanked out shit.
I can't do this no more. I can't do this no more. I can't. I just swear. I can't freaking do this. It's like, what the hell are we doing? What are we doing? Like, why? I cannot. I'm going to bed. Good night.
$1 million, would you give each other a hall pass?
A hall pass? Yeah. So who would your hall pass be?
Kabir.
Come on. Well,
This guy, Kabir, he's in my film class.
it's like her. It's like
Kabir
her
in the
best
film
friend.
class? He's like my best friend.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Women have no clue of what men want because y'all run around with lashes,
You know I only
fake
ask
hair,
how you like
all
to be
this
treated, right?
bullshit, and you can ask 100 men and 98 of them will say, I want a natural woman. But for some reason, y'all in competition with each other. Y'all think that natural beauty is ugly. Y'all done got away from being feminine. Y'all not even confident. I FaceTime a woman in the morning, she got her shit to the ceiling because she don't want to let me see her with her natural face. You that embarrassed of yourself.
Damn.
That's what it is. You're not happy with yourself. It ain't got nothing to do with us. Who are y'all selling yourselves to, the women or the men? Because we the ones that got to marry your ass.
could care less
So how about doing
another
what
woman
I
do.
like? The things that we want are free.
I promise you.
They are free.
I promise you.
But for some reason, y'all let y'all, when you ask a woman, what do you bring to the table? The first thing come out their mouth is something we don't care about, which is your job. Your job. The first thing a woman say, I pay my own bills, I got my own car, I got my own crib.
But y'all say the same
Congratulations,
thing.
you're an
I pay
adult.
Colton, what's your name?
Bree,
Bree.
so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. You got a nice accent. Where are you from?
The accent, it's Australian. I was hoping that you're kind of a sucker for accents.
I
didn't know
am.
what you think about it.
I love it. I'll see you inside, all right?
Okay,
All right,
sounds
bye.
good. I'm not really Australian, but you have to do what you can to stand out.
Reporting live from Hurricane Melissa. We're in beautiful Jamaica. Jackie
So the ladies' favorite word for men today are narcissist. Narcissist is the trending word. No matter what the argument is, the men are narcissists. So I, being the investigative content creator that I am, baby, I went and looked up the word narcissist because I wanted to get a true definition. And I seen this image pop up. Behaviors of a narcissist. Lack of empathy for others. Has a strong desire for attention and admiration from others. Consistently has problematic relationships and has inflated sense of self-worth or importance. Wait a minute now. Isn't it always the women online complaining about how none of their relationships are working because it's the men? But the men be in relationships sometimes and they be happy, but y'all don't. That sounds like constantly being in problematic relationships. And then the overinflated self-worth. Everybody's a 10. Nobody's average because I'm a 10, right? And then on the other side, not having empathy for others. Girl, I'm going to do what I want to do because this is my life to live. It don't matter if it hurt him. F them kids. Y'all see strangers struggling and don't care. Right? And it is mostly women that be online half naked, acting a fool for what? Likes and views or admiration and attention. If the men are narcissists, how is it that the ladies are fitting these descriptive words so well? Why is it that these behaviors are found in so many women if the men are the narcissists? I'm trying to figure it out.
Men will keep doing for other people what's appreciated. They need to be appreciated a lot. So much of what stops happening is because we expect them to do it. And so we think they don't deserve appreciation for doing something they just should do. So we don't appreciate them.
Wow. You stop saying thank you.
We stop being thank you. Honey, thank you. Thanks for doing that for me. And this is where we take so many things personally that aren't personal. Like single focus, we take personally. He's ignoring me. No, he's ignoring everything but what he's doing, and he didn't have to do that. His brain did it for him. But so there's all these things we take personally, and then there's the things we don't take personally. That what they do for us, they do for us.
Can you please stop winking at me, sir?
I'm not winking, I have a twitch. Weirdo. I do have a twitch.
This is going to trigger a lot of women. And if it triggers you, that means it was meant for you. I don't avoid the truth just because someone's ego is not ready to take it. A lot of women proudly say I have standards, but what they really mean is I want a man who gives me everything while I give the bare minimum. You want a man who's emotionally mature, financially stable, loyal, masculine, emotionally intelligent, while you can't handle accountability. You don't know how to communicate. You expect him to read your mind. You don't want a partnership. You want a provider, a therapist, a mind reader, all in one man. You demand emotional maturity, but you get defensive the moment you're called out. You want consistency, but chase men who give you anxiety because chaos feels exciting. You say you want a masculine leader, but reject anything that requires you to show up feminine. You call it high standards, but it's really just entitlement. Standards aren't about what you demand from others. Standards are about what you demand from yourself. If you want emotional maturity, heal your triggers. If you want consistency, stop entertaining inconsistency. If you want depth, stop showing up shallow. If you want leadership, be someone worth leading. And that's why you keep getting hurt. Not because good men don't exist, but because you're not the woman your ideal man would choose. Build your standards on your character, not fantasies. Because when you call entitlement empowerment or feminism, it's not confidence, it's delusion.
This is what I was talking about in my other video that I posted just recently. Essentially, I think the guy, and he was making some very good points, he was just talking about how men communicate logically, but they don't communicate very good emotionally. And he suggested a book, which I thought it was a pretty good suggestion. I thought he was making pretty good points. But my point was, all of this is great, but we come to the impasse. We come to the crossroads where women do not know how to communicate effectively. There's a lot of women out there that don't know how to do that. So it does not matter what books you read. It does not matter what therapy you go through. These women are not good themselves at communicating. Emotional communication to them just means I'm crying. But I'm not really saying anything. Oh, you should understand. I don't understand. I just understand that you're crying. There's something wrong. What is it? You got to let me know. Is it something I did? Is it something that somebody else did? Does it have to do with me? Number one. Number two, we talk about listening all the time and how a man should just listen and not try to solve problems. But when those problems go on and on and on and on, you're asking and demanding a lot out of a man, that he doesn't just say anything. He just sits there and listens to you over and over again complain. Most people don't want to be around that.
Men who are ready to commit are fearful of doing so because they've noticed that many women seem to like them more and soften up when they're mistreated and kept guessing. I saw this comment from a guy on Instagram which encapsulates this perfectly. He said, I'm trapped in a generation where I don't know whether to buy her flowers or ignore her to get her to like me. Men will do what women demand of them in order to get laid. Women set the standards for sex, and men meet them. There's this idea from Roy Baumeister. He says, although this might be considered an unflattering characterization, we have found no evidence to contradict the basic general principle that men will do whatever is required in order to obtain sex, and perhaps not a great deal more. One of us characterized this in previous work as, if women would stop sleeping with jerks, men would stop being jerks. If, in order to obtain sex, men must become pillars of the community, or lie, or amass riches by fair means or foul, or be romantic, or be funny, then men will do precisely that. So, similarly, if men need to be broken, flaky, non-committal, and inconsistent, they will meet these standards appropriately. Women's mate choices, modern romance culture, and girl magazines are not at fault for emotionally unavailable behavior in men, but they're not totally unrelated to it either. What is needed is a clearer picture of healthy connection.
As someone who is now a divorce attorney and a mom, and also who was raised by a mom that is a divorce attorney, I feel like I have some apologizing to do.
The best advice I ever got from a divorce attorney was this. He said, listen, you could use me. You could hire me. You got kids. So you're either going to pay the money that you guys have, you and your soon-to-be ex-husband, you could either use that money and hire me, and that money will go towards my kids, or you guys could figure it out and cooperate and keep that money and use it towards your kids. And that forever seared into my brain.
More women are tending to be the ones who file for divorce, and more women are tending to be the ones that have infidelity. And what I was just on a call with 4 other therapists that I'm training, and we're all sharing that we're seeing the same trend. And we were talking about how it usually plays out. And typically a woman will ask for what they want and what they need, whether it's more help with the household chores or the kids, or the mental load that happens in a relationship, more emotional connection, more date nights, more quality time together. They'll ask, maybe not always the right way, maybe many times not the right way. And then when they don't get it, they'll kind of shut down, and then they will either ask for a divorce or there will be a infidelity. So I know this is not always the case, but you have 5 therapists now who said they noticed that similar trend. So I was wondering if you have any experience with this. I would love to hear your story in the comments.
Generation of men are so insecure, and where the whole nonchalant act comes from.
Yeah, you are thinking way too far into this. Men are very simple creatures. I touch stove and burn hand. I no longer touch stove because me no like burn hand.
This is a survey that I did with the millions of followers that are 95% male. And over 70% of them said that when they were vulnerable, when they did open up to their ladies, they were punished for it. So ladies, you have to understand that they have either been taught by previous experiences that this is not something safe to do, or you have personally yourself done this to him and confirmed it to be true. This is why guys go into the whole nonchalant and don't show emotions and don't share their feelings and can't be their genuine, authentic self around you. It's because when he did, you punished him for it, or blamed him, or rejected him in some way that has caused him to never want to do that again.
I personally think that men are basically all the same. Men just want a nice, sweet, supportive woman. You don't even have to be that beautiful. Like, don't be fat, like go to the gym, eat healthy, put a little bit of makeup on, not too much. But ultimately, men just want a supportive, kind, sweet woman. He's gonna go out there, take on the world, do all these difficult things, and he just wants to go home and know that there's peace, there's food on the table, the house is clean. It's really not that difficult. All men want the same thing.
The part that kills me is when a man says, I can just never do anything right. I just can't do anything to make you happy.
Him saying that doesn't just come out of nowhere. He's saying it because all you do is nag him with what he does. You're always criticizing him. You're always telling him what he could do better, what he's not doing good enough, instead of sometimes telling him how grateful you are for things and occasionally being thankful. Men are sick of always being criticized and never being thanked for the effort that they're putting in and for all the things that they do for you, half of which you probably don't even realize and see. So if you actually bring things up in a respectful tone, in a respectful way, and you actually occasionally thank him for things and show him how grateful you are for what he actually does for you, he'll be more inclined to listen, to want to change, and to want to help you where your problems are. If you're only ever criticizing him and telling him what you're not happy with, he's going to feel like the relationship is not going well and that he can never do anything to make you happy, because that is verbally what you're telling him. Some positive things sometimes. Bring things up in a respectful, good tone. A lot of women bring things up in a very angry, aggressive tone, and men do not want to deal with it because it's disrespectful.
And once again, this is what a lot of men are getting at. I have to sit here and listen to you complain and complain and complain and complain over and over again under the guise of, I just need you to listen. Months on end. Whether it's me, whether it's somebody else, there's always a problem. Nobody can do right by you. Nobody can make you happy. And at some point in time, even your friends are like, what's the issue? Either you fix the issue or stop talking to me. And they'll go behind your back to your friends group and say, she was always complaining. Like, girl, what's wrong? Just be happy. Why are you not happy?
Oh,
child, I am sorry that a lot of y'all have been lied to and sold a dream that is just not feasible for the vast majority of women, okay? The reality is many of the women you see today who are married and they drive beautiful luxury cars and they live in wonderful suburban neighborhoods and have children in private school, they're working. They've been working. They never stopped working. She herself is working. The key is if you are an average earning woman, okay, your fast track to wealth is likely going to be teaming up with a man who is at minimum another just average earning dude and eradicating debt and building wealth. Like, that's what's always been done. That's what works. And this whole notion of, oh, I'm just going to wait on my $200,000 a year dude to come rescue me. Baby, wake up.
Here's how the male loneliness epidemic actually works. Women get lonely too. We just prefer to be lonely over being with you. Whereas men get lonely because they try to date women and women won't date them because you're insufferable.
Honey, listen, if women were content to feel lonely rather than be with you, you wouldn't be posting all of these videos constantly for male attention. So you may say, well, I'm not going to date him because I don't think he's up to par. And part of the reason for that is because, yes, you are lonely, but you're getting a lot of that gratification and a lot of that feeling of bonding with people because you're posting constantly on social and getting a flood of attention and comments and DMs and all of that stuff.
More women own more homes than men, vote at higher rates than men, do not have to do dirty, grueling work as often as men by any measure. Men hold debt at higher levels than women, yet women graduate at higher rates and have higher rates of higher education. And women claim they have no duty to be a mother, but courts often side with them and go in their favor because of the expectation and role and presupposition of them intending to be a mother. Insurance is less expensive for women, and suicide rates are higher in men. Women also have lower crime rates and are convicted at a lesser rate for the same crimes as men. And yet the majority of the enforcing all these rights and laws are men, including the military draft, which only men have to sign up for. And yet somehow the patriarchy is oppressing women. So is the patriarchy actually that bad, or is it actually pretty benevolent?
What's your favorite car?
Porsche or G-Wagon.
Are you 24? Imagine buying your G-Wagon 6 years after somebody drove that car. Would you want that car still?
No.
So you being 30, why would he want you?
That one more time?
I said, I am trying to have my first child with you, and I promise you we can get married first, then we can have a child, and I'll treat you right.
Oh, okay.
So do we got a deal or not?
We'll see.
That's what we gonna see.
A man could have his last 100, and if he loves you, you are really his heart. He'll give it to you and go make it tomorrow.
Yeah.
He don't gotta be rich. You gotta know he's just a grinder. He rocking with you, and you see he got some heart, and he's outside hustling every day. When he get there, he gonna take you up there.
You think this man gonna put a ring on your finger at some point, and you're not even showing him the wife qualities?
So you saying you saying in order to be somebody's wife, you gotta already treat them like a husband?
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
And say, can I buy you a drink? You like, I got a man, but you still accept that drink. Just gave him a door to open that he can get you to
Wait, just for accepting a drink?
Yeah. Why would you do that? I'm another man. You got a committed relationship. Why you accepting my drink?
A woman accepting a drink from another man while out is a violation of her relationship.
A drink is a gateway. I'm getting you a drink so I can start a conversation, and then I'm about to ask some shit like, but you can't have friends though. Cheating is a series of choices. It ain't just you fall into some cat.
He said, oh, over accepting a drink? Yes. Men continue to try to tell you this. Y'all are out here moving in a way that is sloppy, and it makes men not want to be in a relationship with you.
The right woman is more than just peace. She is multiplication. She makes you sharper. She challenges your excuses. She expands your vision. She's not just nodding along on your ideas. That's the difference between a woman that keeps you comfortable and a woman that makes you dangerous. The wrong woman drain you with drama, insecurity, distraction. The average woman, she keeps you stable, quiet, comfortable, predictable. But the right woman, she multiplies everything. She multiplies your focus, your ambition, your discipline, your results. Being with her doesn't just feel good, she makes you better. Men don't just rise by themselves. Behind every man that dominates, there is a woman that demanded more of him, who believed bigger when he doubted. So stop looking for someone that just won't disturb you. That is too...
The quarrelsome woman is battling her husband, which for a man is a red flag. It's like one of the biggest ways for a woman to show that she dishonors her husband is to battle with him. The research that has been done by the Gottman Research Institute talks about the biggest predictor of divorce is contention. So you'd rather be outside and get away than to stay in that situation. A quarrelsome woman is definitely not being humble in her posture. Growing as a godly wife, a big part of that is, God, how can I tame my tongue? I don't want to push my husband away.
Survey where men and women were asked if they got 80% of everything they want in their ideal mate, would they be happy with that? Women said, no, that's settling. And men said, 80%, I'd be thrilled, that's a catch. We're too picky about the things that don't matter at all for long-term romantic happiness, but we're not picky enough about the things that actually do matter. Men and women were asked what would be a deal breaker for going on a second date, and men named 3 things. They said she has to be cute enough, she has to be warm and kind, and she has to be interesting to talk to. Reasonable, right? The women came back with 300 things that would rule out a guy for a second date. And we're talking about like another 2 hours and maybe a free dinner. And there were things like he wore a brown belt with black shoes. Or we were having a really good time and I thought he was cute and he was interesting, but then he did this Austin Powers impression and I just can't get that out of my mind and I can't go out with him again. Maybe he was just nervous. The guys who are bad first daters might be great life partners. You don't know.
Why is it controlling? How about a guy just has some standards for himself and he's saying to himself, if I'm going to date you and we're going to be exclusive and I'm going to prioritize you in multiple ways, I have expectations of you, which means that you're not going to go out, get sloppy drunk with your friends, maybe behave badly because people make not so great decisions when they drink. And why are you putting yourself in that situation? I don't want to give my exclusivity to someone who's going to voluntarily put themselves in those situations. And by the way, if you have me and you're so happy with me, why do you need to do all of that? Perfectly reasonable for a man to come to the table and say those things. Guys are afraid to say them oftentimes because they're afraid of losing a woman. Don't be afraid, men, to lose a woman who behaves badly. It will be an enormous favor to you if you lose someone that disrespects you consistently. Don't be afraid of the loss. You're not controlling, you're protecting your peace, your values, your boundaries, and your future from unnecessary drama and emotional exhaustion.
Why get a divorce after 25 years of marriage? The short answer is because it is not too late to be happy. And I finally got to a point at the beginning of the year where I decided that it wasn't too late to be happy. I still have, hopefully, many more years left, and I would like to be happy for those years.
1 week later.
I'm just not strong enough to fight this one by myself. I don't know what to do.
The show goes on!
Feminism is a scam. Feminism is a scam. I do not want to be independent. I want to be so codependent. I need my husband. I want my husband. I want to follow his lead. That's how God created me. He created me in a way to follow. He created me as a helpmate. He created me as an opposite to Adam. We absolutely need men. And I really feel as though if women acted like women instead of men, we'd have better men.
And once again, this is not something that a lot of modern women want to hear because it's taking accountability and serving it right back to them, hot and fresh, on a silver platter.
As women, we have no idea the weight that a man carries. And the more and more that I talk to women, the more and more I believe like you really are clueless about that. You think that it's just him just taking care of you. But the truth is there is an unspoken expectation that if it ever comes down to it, he has to give his very life to protect you. That's the silent contract that men live under every single day. And this is the crazy thing. He walks out into a world where he doesn't know if he'll come home. Not just because he has to protect you, but because he's expected to fight, endure, and to sacrifice for any woman who is threatened that is in his presence. He is expected to sacrifice his own life. And yet, when he does come home, he comes home to many of you who are draining what is left of him, and then you expect him not to complain or to have a problem about it. Do you understand what that does to a man mentally and emotionally? When his entire existence is around what he gives, but he rarely receives the nurture, the respect, the peace, the safety that he is desperately longing for. It chips away at his soul. And listen, men don't crumble, ladies, because they're weak. Y'all gotta stop saying that. You have to see things for what they are. They are crumbling because they've carried the sword for so long, and you have not been willing to bandage their hands, let alone tell them that they don't have to die on the sword for you in order to receive love and to keep getting your love. Love your man, refill him, remind him he doesn't have to die for him to be worthy of you.
These are 3 phrases as a woman you will never see me get behind. And the first one, coming in strong: happy wife, happy life. How many have heard that phrase? Because you know, if mom is upset, everyone else is going to be miserable. So the man is turning into a peacekeeping butler, not a leader. Sounds like a wet noodle to me. And it teaches our young daughters that if I'm mad, everything else shuts down. That's manipulation, not partnership. And the second point, whatever makes her happy. I know, I'm sorry, Timmy, because you've probably just been hearing yapping in your ear, and you're just tired of it. But to me, it sounds like you just left your spine at the door. To me, a real man is not going to ask what keeps her happy. He's going to be asking what keeps us healthy. So then you're left with a spoiled wife and a resentful husband. And the last one, but certainly not least, yes, dear. What that translates to me is you do not feel safe in making decisions any longer. You have just waved that white flag. You have just given up your authority as a leader of the home. So feminism told us to chase power and control. Meanwhile, these 3 phrases were the baby steps that got us there.
So, I don't know who needs to hear this, but women are allowed to be broke. Yep, I said it. It's men that are not allowed to be broke. It's you men that are not allowed.
Fair enough. Men are the only ones allowed to be in charge of anything. That's right, I said it. It's you women that are not allowed to have any say-so over anything. See how that works?
Men are hardwired to protect, provide, and pour out for the people they love. But if you never give him the space to show up for you, he won't feel needed. And if he doesn't feel needed, he won't feel valued. And a man who doesn't feel valued, he'll retreat, not because he doesn't care, but because no one wants to keep showing up where they're not received. Here's the kicker. A healthy man doesn't want a clingy woman. He wants a competent woman who's willing to need him. A woman who knows her worth, but still lets him add to her world. That's not needy. That's magnetic. That's sexy. That's irresistible.
That man, if he's not needed, will go somewhere else, do something else for other people. And you as a woman, you're not going to like it. Because that man's not giving you the attention, the time, and the validation that you want, but you never showed him that you appreciated it because you were always nagging and complaining, telling him what he was doing wrong. And I'm not even saying he's cheating. I'm not even saying he's going to cheat. I'm just saying he decides to go do other things with his time besides hear you tell him what he wasn't doing right.
And for us as women, marriage is very much what can we get out of it, not what do I need to put in it. We think that a marriage is just supposed to work out. It's just supposed to happen. And there's never any conscious thought or education for us as women that it takes hard work to make a marriage successful, to make it healthy and thriving and a place where we can really thrive and grow and learn and get to know ourselves. We say, what can I get out of it? So we never think about, you mean I have to work on my behaviors? I have to be self-aware? I have to keep growing and getting better as a person? I have to be collaborative? I have to compromise with another person and think of another person and what's important to them? These are not things that we think of as women.
So I have to be honest, when a woman is in her feminine energy, it's more than just an aesthetic. It's really an energy that she embodies, and other women pick up on it. So if you really want to know if a woman is operating in her healthy feminine, observe how other women perceive her. And you dressed out pretty, but you talk too much. You have lack of awareness, and you're loud in public. If you got a loud mouth, that defeats the purpose. We were not meant to be stuck in our masculine. Do certain things like meditating, mindfulness, exercise, eating clean, living in the now moment. Because I don't want to hear y'all saying, I want a real man, a real man. Hey, listen, a real man don't want to date a woman that act like a man.
Baby, let me tell you something. There are a lot of females out in this world that will never admit that they are single because don't no man want their ass. They don't want the headache. They don't want to deal with their attitude. They don't want to hear that shit. Oh, he need to pay 100% of the bills. They're not going to admit that. You see what I'm saying? They going to blame everything on the man. But guess what? I'm here to tell you, baby. Men just don't want their ass. You heard it here first. Yeah.
Shape. That's the number one thing. No man who's fit and athletic fell out of his mother's vagina that way. I think that being in shape gives you an advantage in business. When I see a fit and athletic man, I can tell you immediately he's got several great traits. I think people respect you more. I think people look at you and they say, it's like walking discipline. He's got the trait of consistency. He's got the trait of focus. He's got the trait of discipline. He's got the trait of delayed gratification. And he's got grit. If you are fit and athletic, it's because you have put yourself through consistent workouts and constant clean eating over a long period of time. And that tells me a lot about you. And you are the type of man I want to do business with. I want to be friends with. And you are the type of man that I admire.
As a man, why are you complaining?
I can think of multiple very valid reasons why gentlemen would have a reason to complain about something.
If you are complaining to me, I'm gonna get the immediate ick.
Oh no, not that. I can only imagine the number of gentlemen that are gonna be absolutely heartbroken.
Because that's a woman's job.
To complain? Can that really be what they meant?
A woman's job is to complain while you fix.
Oh, okay, that was what they meant. Yeah, let's hear it for gender stereotypes, everyone.
Do not get on my phone, start texting me and complaining about your day.
Oh, heaven forbid a guy actually take a moment to vent about his day. How awful. Yet, ironically, these will be some of the same types of women that insist that the guys listen to all of their problems.
I don't care. Solve it. You're a man.
Well, here's a problem that we can solve right now. Gentlemen, if you run into a woman that treats you like that, run the other direction.
Thank you. I'm glad she said that. I waited for her to say what she was going to say, and I knew where she was going. It's a woman's job to do this. You know what? This is probably satire. But this is what men continue to tell you. Y'all, meet her where she's at. Be there emotionally for her. At some point in time, it's got to come to a stop. That's what I keep saying. It has to come to a stop. I don't want to hear any more freaking complaining. We just came off of a freaking vacation. All expenses paid, laid out on the beach, 7 days out of the week. We were there for 7 days. Every single freaking day up until the time we went to the airport, we laid out on the beach like you wanted. I don't even like the beach. I don't like the beach, but we laid out on the beach because that's what you wanted. You wanted to get a tan. You wanted to go to this nice place. You wanted to go on this excursion. You wanted to do this. Done. But we get back on the plane, and as soon as we get back on the plane, you're complaining. As soon as we get back to the house, you're complaining. We go to a nice restaurant, you complain. I give you a nice ring, you complain. Buy you a nice car, you complain. At some point in time, we have to start calling out immaturity. And instead of pushing it to the man, well, you got to know how she's feeling. when she's feeling, where she's feeling. I know what she's feeling like. I know what she wants, but she's complaining right now. She got to get it together. You ain't a child no more.
When a man wants to get married, he's only getting married truly for one reason. Because let me be honest with you women. The men can work and provide for themselves. He does not necessarily need you to cook, clean, and have sex because he can get sex from multiple women. They're giving it out. A lot of them can cook and clean. Their mother taught them, or they can pay someone to get it. The culture is telling them do not get married. So why would a man go past what the culture is telling him and choose to have a wife? Because with a wife, you can now have love, you can now have nurturing, you can have support, you can have affection. This is what he can't get from a roommate. So if that is not what you're leading with in your relationships with men, is love, support, nurturing, and respect, this is why your husband is now pulling away, because in the beginning you gave him those things. But as you got into the relationship, you got bitter, you got resentful, you start seeing his flaws, start counting that against him, you start measuring him against other men, and now you're pulling back on the love, the affection, and the nurturing.
Please, I'll cook for you, I'll clean for you, I'll do all your laundry, babe. Please, I want you to hang you again, babe. Please, babe, please.
Call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach.
Ask a man what a good woman is.
Does anyone out there think that this individual has the slightest clue at all of what men actually think? Well, let's find out.
And watch him describe a maid with model looks.
Oof. Now that was just embarrassing. Believe it or not, though, that was actually a very good example of showcasing how a lot of women actually think, and they believe that a lot of men really think that way. Unfortunately, and quite obviously, they're not actually talking to men to get these sorts of opinions and to reinforce them. No, they're actually having most of these conversations with other women and from the echo chambers that they create for themselves on social media. But heaven forbid if they ever actually had a meaningful conversation or dialogue with a lot of men, they would realize that no, men aren't looking for a maid with model looks. Most men are actually looking for someone who's going to be there to support them, a partner, and someone to share their life with.
Oh my god! Looks gorgeous.
I'm never gonna get married. I don't want to get married.
Why?
There's no benefit for the man. He only has everything to lose. A man can be completely faithful to his wife, provide, protect, take care of the kids, obviously when he's not working, whatever. And the wife can step out and cheat. And what's the result of that? Man has to pay alimony, has to pay child support, loses his house, loses the cars, loses everything. Why? What's the point? And then, it's a coin flip. Flip a coin if your marriage is going to work. Those are the odds. Those are the chances. If you want to get married, cool. Throw a wedding, put the rings on each other, say your vows, you're married. You don't have to submit nothing with the courts. Yeah.
Die alone?
The only reason why somebody is not okay being alone is because they're not okay with themselves. That's it. Like, if you're not okay being alone, you have issues with yourself that you need to take care of.
If you're a good person driven with big goals, you have to surround yourself with people like you, and I'm going to tell you why. You need people who are comfortable in their own skin, flourishing and flowing in their own gift with their own light so that they are not intimidated by yours. People who don't have their own business going on just be talking about everybody's business. We don't got time for that. Business-minded people need business-minded friends because they're on that level with you. They have something that they offer, that they bring to the table. People like us do not just be sitting around. People who are literally out here trying to make a change, who are purposeful, who are staying aligned, trying to make a difference. Oh, we do not come dime a dozen, baby.
The hardest thing that women do to men nowadays is they say to men that they want effort. But then when a man actually puts in the effort into the relationship, women label it as the bare minimum. But here's the thing, ladies. There are actually women out there who will be grateful for what you call the bare minimum. Because it's not the bare minimum. You are not someone who deserves something just for being alive. The entitlement needs to end. Any good treatment that you receive from anyone else is not because you deserve it. It's because they are deciding to treat you a certain way. So be grateful. Stop calling it the bare minimum. Start treating men with respect and being grateful for the effort they put into you. Maybe then they will actually be willing to date women and not be alone because it's more peaceful for them.
The woman is the prize.
Men are the prize because men have to bring way more to the table than women do to get a relationship. So therefore, we are the prize.
No.
Absolutely.
No, that's not true.
Do you find most men attractive or unattractive?
Unattractive.
So would it be fair to say that you're picky?
Yes, very.
Okay. So if you find that guy, would it be fair to say that he's probably in the top 1 or 2% of men?
Mm-hmm.
By definition, he's the prize.
I think a lot of men out there are they're content with saying, okay, hey, this is what we're doing. Let's get together and knock this stuff out. Don't even play with it. Let's get together and knock this stuff out. We're not talking about no 50-50. We're not talking about no 100, 0%, 70-30. We're not talking about none of that. You got what you're doing, get it done. I got what I'm doing, get it done. We need help. Let each other know. And let's rock this stuff out.
I had a guy a chance one time, and then he gets cocky and thinks that he can do better than you. Oh, then starts treating you like, I'm sorry, I let you up into this league. Do you know how ugly you are?
She's talking about looks. She acts like she is Cinderella and everyone else. You know how like when the prince goes to the ball and there's like, you know, the ugly stepsisters and he's like, you know, all that. She acts like she is the prince, right? And she's just like, ooh. So just beware of the inflated ego.
How can I ever put everything into somebody I do not trust? If you believe a good man does this, but you don't do it, you're easy to control, easy to manipulate, easy for you to compromise your values, your truth, your reality, what you believe is good. You'll compromise all of those things. That removes trust from our relationship completely. Remember this sentence: a man who will compromise his authenticity is a man who will never be trusted.
I realize that ladies, when they run, their breast is scattered. But Manchester United.
What's something you'll get a lot of hate for if you say it out loud?
That men, their whole life was taught how to treat a woman and not what to expect from a woman. But women were taught their whole life what to expect from a man, but not how to treat a man.
Bro, why would I move back to America? My rent $700 a month, my water bill is $3 a month, and my electricity bill is $23 a month. I literally eat for $2. I literally use transportation. I don't have a car. Use transportation for $3, literally to go 30 minutes away somewhere, bro. Why would I move back to America? I don't have a car note. I don't have a high electricity bill. I don't have a high cell phone bill. My cell phone bill in Thailand is literally $10 a month. Bro, I'm financially free. I'm straight.
Unfortunately, my body doesn't know the difference between being held at gunpoint and being asked, what are you looking for here? By a man. I got asked that today over text, and you would have thought that I had been sentenced to life in prison, the way that I was like freaking out. And I was like running around my workplace asking all my coworkers, I was like, what do I say? What do I say? I don't know what to say. And then the guy was like, why are you freaking out? Like, just answer the question. And here's the thing, he's smart because he's asking me what my intentions are up front before we get involved. Personally, I like to just walk around and find out and then get hurt in the long run.
So he asks her, you know, what are your intentions? Maybe he got some mixed signals. Who the hell knows? And she's panicking because she doesn't know how to be honest. You wouldn't panic if you were just going to tell him the truth in that moment and just say, you know, this is what I'm looking for. The reason she's panicking and asking everybody around the office, because she's like, what do I say that's like the right answer?
So what are your 25 favorite things about me?
How a man takes this is actually 100% dependent on the woman's attitude. Because if she's positive and this is just like a cutesy thing and she's looking for some amount of sweet reassurance, this is actually a nice thing for a man to hear. Because it means that he can start listing off things and she's gonna love it. She's gonna eat it up, and we all know that benefits him. But if she comes at this with a very sour attitude and she has a history of it becoming a problem when he doesn't say the exact right things that she wants him to, yeah, for that man, he just knows that this is a test and he doesn't want to deal with it. For the poor guy that is new to the game with this type of woman, he is going to attempt it, but he will find out eventually, time and time again after this happens, that there's no right answer. And when she asks this type of question, he will brace for impact. But over time, he's going to find out that it's just not worth it. The relationship will end, and he will never, never get into a relationship with a woman like this again.
Modern women, they're toxic, they're unhealthy, they're unhealed. They have a loser mindset, so they'll play these little games with you and they'll think it's funny. They talk about men negging women, being negative around women. And it's funny that once again we can go back to the woman talking about it's a woman's job to complain, but they don't want a man being negative. They want to sit up and yap about in a man's ear about how he's not doing things right, and then they want to talk about how he's not an alpha. But then if a man says, you're not really doing your job either, as a matter of fact, you can do X, Y, and Z a little bit better, then all of a sudden, once again, he's negging, he's insecure, he's a non-confident little boy, he's not a man, I want a gentleman, I don't want somebody, and all those other things. All of a sudden, he's trying to humble you and bring you down. But they play these types of little games all day long, and they expect a man to acquiesce to it and stuff like that. She said, well, it depends on the attitude. If this is just like a fun, what are the things you like about me? But if it's what most modern women do, and it's got to be the perfect thing that you say, you're in for a long ride, my boy. Get off now.
And we all know that guy would hit if he could. He probably just never had the balls to step up and tell her how he felt. Listen, y'all can think what you want, but to have a deep, intimate relationship with a man or a woman who is not your husband or wife or significant other, it makes no sense to me. It's one thing to be friendly, it's one thing to be acquaintances, it's one thing to be friends of friends, to be hanging out all the time, going on trips together, doing like little dinner dates and that type of stuff. If you are in a relationship, it's completely inappropriate. And most likely that friendship developed when you guys weren't in relationships, when you were both seeking the male and female attention that you weren't currently getting anymore. You got the validation that you were looking for. But make no mistake, if you want a healthy long-term relationship, a solid marriage, there's no room for girl or guy best friends. Keeping a marriage together in this day and age is hard enough as it is. And for you to take time, resources, energy, and put it into another relationship is just a sign of pure ignorance or immaturity. Stay strong, kings.
When you flip on the TV or, whatever media you're using, you're not hearing about the women usually. It's about the men's game. So, that's so critical.
The women got a pool or got paid out from a pool of $30 million from the Women's World Cup. The men would draw from a pool of $400 million, okay? $400 million, $30 million. Why is that? It's because the Men's World Cup generates $6 billion in revenue. The Women's World Cup generates $131 million in revenue. If you want to talk about pay disparity, the Women's World Cup players get paid out 20% of the total revenue. The men get paid out 7%. As a percentage point, they are getting much more. The problem is, for anybody desiring equal pay, and by the way, I think equal pay is a ridiculous concept in and of itself. If the women generate more revenue, they should get paid more than the men. Don't strive for getting the same, strive for getting what you're worth. And if you're worth more, then get more.
How are you a Christian, bro? Perverse speech is actually a sin.
50 dicks, and I'll never lecture me about anything.
Baby, let me tell you something. There are a lot of females out in this world that will never admit that they are single because don't no man want their ass. They don't want the headache. They don't want to deal with their attitude. They don't want to hear that shit. Oh, he need to pay 100% of the bills. They're not going to admit that. You see what I'm saying? They going to blame everything on the man. But guess what? I'm here to tell you, baby. Men just don't want their ass. You heard it here first. Yeah.
Instead of trying to be nice, just be as nice as you are and see who meets you there. Instead of trying to do the right thing, do the thing that feels right to you and see who meets you there. Instead of trying to say the right thing, say what you feel and see who meets you there.
Women cannot resist a man who does this. He walks away from drama instead of engaging with it. He says no without justifying himself. He remains calm even when she's losing it. He has a life that she can't fully access because he knows not everything needs to be shared. He treats her well as long as it's reciprocated. Put simply, men who are irresistible are that way because of choices they consistently make. Want to learn how to become one of them? Comment irresistible below and I got you.